Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up those football gods here on this Victory Hangover Monday. You see Joe Boo, well, hey, he's partying like it's 1999, and the Cowboys got to win. I know, it's so funny to me. It's so funny. It's a little bit late this morning, me getting started on doing this. I actually got up this morning because I figured I was going to be just knocked out because I got 2 hours sleep the night before. And contrary to what some haters may have said about ticket fraud and things like that, I challenge anybody to have been part of what we did between the tickets, between the food, the tailgate. I challenge to find anybody, just one. Let me find one person who was actually there that was part of what we did. I challenge them to say that they had a bad time, because I guarantee you, you won't find, well, no, you know what? Rio will say he had a bad time because the Redskins, of course, the Washington team did get their butts kicked. But it wasn't my fault. It was Dallas Cowboys' fault. But we had a ball yesterday. We had a big Dallas Cowboys birthday cake. Shout out to Daniel Hernandez for his wife making this beautiful cake. I don't know what she does to the icing, but sometimes you get those birthday cakes, the icing is almost too sweet and too overpowering. This icing was like velvet. I mean, it was just like you took a bite of it and it was like, oh, it was great. It was great. And then, of course, my man Jet D. Check out his channel, Native Meats. YouTube, he's just new getting started with it and stuff, but he has had years and years of smoking. He took care of that brisket, the pulled pork we had. And by the way, the 3-foot subs, guys, the 3-foot subs are still undefeated. Every time we've done the 3-foot subs, we have won games. So I got to do one every week. We got the Giants this week, so we're going to do a chopped cheese sub. So shout out to them. Shout out to everybody that was there. Rashid's girlfriend, she took care of business, make sure everybody got plenty to eat. And I know some of you Washington fans, y'all came 2-3 times through line. Don't think I didn't notice. Don't think I didn't notice. But we had literally a fantastic time. First half of the game, well, actually the first 3 quarters of the game, we were having a fantastic time. But the game ended up being closer in the end. But one thing I will say, it's kind of crazy to me because going into this game, I know the Cowboys were a 4.5-point favorite, and they did win by more than 4.5 points, so they covered the spread. They did what Vegas thought they would do, and even more. Going into this game, everybody was talking about how good Washington was. They beat Tampa Bay. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They beat Seattle. They've come around. Tyler Heineke, he's been reinvented and is now Joe Montana. They're a good team. And had they won, they would have said, see, we told you, Washington's a good team. Now, all of a sudden, we have revisionist history that Washington, Cowboys, they just beat a bad team. It wasn't good enough. Now, I'll be the first to say the defense is coming along. It's coming along. We had, the cheap, garbage time touchdown. They ran the ball on them. Nothing cheap, nothing deep. They kept everything in front of them. They did gash us on the run a bit, getting to the touchdown. The pick 6 was a backbreaker. And to the gentleman who works for FedEx for the Washington football team, who's a Cowboy fan, undercover. Won't show you your face. Hey, buddy, if you're watching now, here's what we can do. Email me, cowboysmark94@gmail, because what we do, I can bring you in and I can disguise your voice. We can disguise your voice, put the dark screen on, and we can talk. We can talk about some of the secrets there at FedEx. We can talk. Okay. Undercover reporter here. Joe Boo reports. He said, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Dak Prescott. Because he said, I'm not a Dak Prescott fan. Dak, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, I'll be the first one to admit that right now, Dak is not looking good. Dak is definitely not looking good. Those 2 interceptions yesterday were horrendous. The rating was terrible. It just was bad. And I'm calling Dak out. I'm saying Dak was bad. He had some poor decisions. We had some poor play calling. But there's also other issues. And here's what I really, really want to know. Now, Dak's not listed on the injury report, but you cannot look at Dak Prescott right now and say Dak is Dak from the beginning of the year last year before the ankle injury. You can't even say that that's the same Dak that was before the calf injury. And you look at the game since he has returned from the injury, he is not playing the way he was before the injury. Now, let's think about this for a second. Let's think about this, because calf injuries are the new bugaboo in the NFL. I know haters going to say, you're just making excuses because he's just a garbage quarterback. Well, okay, whatever. I can't help you guys. Then just tune off. Just say whatever. Mark Holmes is just a homer. But when you throw the football, the layman or the average person will think it's all about arm strength. Oh, he's got a cannon for an arm. But see, here's the thing about throwing a football. You remember the Dak warm-up dance, where he's popping the hip? And if you ever played golf, all of these motions are the same type of motion. It's not just an arm when you swing a golf club. It's the shoulders and the body, the whole body, that's moving and creating a whipping action. That whole Dak whip, even with, I'm going to give Baker Mayfield a pass too, because with him having the shoulder contusion or whatever it is, you have to understand every movement body-wise, motor physiology here, is stretching and recoiling. So when you throw, you're not just throwing with this arm, you're pulling your body through with the other one. So this one is stretching the chest muscles so you can recoil and follow through. And that whipping action goes through your body. And if you can't push off, that's where you got turf toe, and you can't push off. You can't make that cut. And the calf injury, I believe we're 4 weeks away from when he strained that calf and missed a game. Think about Michael Gallup. Some of you will say, well, Michael Gallup's a wide receiver. He's got to run down the field there and make cuts and stuff. Remember how many games Michael Gallup missed with the strained calf? There's different degrees of it, 1, 2, and 3, depending on how severe it is. But you have to understand, if Dak does not have that muscle strength, or if it's having to be numbed up or wrapped up or treated differently, you're not getting that same whipping action and following through. That's facts. If you've got a hurt shoulder, you can't get the same velocity. If you have a finger that's broken, you may not grip the football the same and be able to get that final little push on the ball to get that rotation done. All these things make a difference. So when you talk about Russell Wilson coming back, oh, man, he's done lost it. Well, it may be that he still does not have the strength back on having that fractured finger. And understanding that every motion as you go through and release that football is putting that spin on there. It's getting that velocity. All these things matter. The other problem for the Cowboys is typically, I felt like I was watching a Jason Garrett coach team the second half. Here it is. You got to lead. What you want to do is run the football. And right now, the Dallas Cowboys run game, as much as everybody talks about Dak has regressed, Dak is bad, the Cowboys running game has got to be atrocious lately. And there's factors to that. Zeke Elliott is nowhere near healthy. Zeke cannot run right now. And this is a major problem. I am really worried about Tony Pollard and how long is it going to be before he's able to play. Because if we do not get a running game, and people say, oh, Dak needs a running game. Yeah, but we didn't have one at all yesterday, guys. The only person who had more than 4 yards of carry yesterday was CeeDee Lamb. 2 carries, 15 yards. That's not going to get it done, guys. It's just not. And so when it's late in the fourth quarter, that's the time that you need to be able to run the football and basically run out the clock. We don't have that ability right now to be able to do that. And thus, it's making it harder and harder for the Cowboys to close out games to get a couple of first downs when teams know that you want to stop the clock. Because let me look here real quick at the rushing. Zeke Elliott, 12 carries, 45 yards, 3.8 yards a carry. Bro, that ain't getting it done. Now, I want you to understand, Corey Clement, nobody looked at Corey Clement and says, I'm fearful of that guy. But he was right in that same category, 13 carries, 44 yards, 3.4 yards a carry. That is a killer. The next part of the problem, Lyell Collins, who this is why I think that maybe there really is a lot more damage to Dak Prescott's leg than what was let on. Lyell Collins came in there and threw a punch and went after that guy. And when you listen to the interview of him after the game, the way he's talking about that, yeah, he kind of was doing some extra stuff, trying to roll up on Dak's leg. And, you know, basically you could hear the concern about Dak Prescott's leg. And that's why he went in there and popped him upside the head, because I'm not taking this stuff. We're not doing this. You know, and in my mind, I fear that that leg is a lot worse. The other part of it is Dak can't run. Dak had 7 carries, 15 yards. That weapon is a big part of the game. The run-pass options. We can't do those. And Dak is having a harder time right now getting away from pass rushing. So if the offensive line does not get there, keep him off, and guys aren't getting open, it's putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And then finally, of course, Tyron Smith. I don't know just yet. I haven't even looked at the news yet to see all the injuries and things. Tyron Smith in and out of the lineup and the changes on the offensive line, and then Lyell Collins going out. Now your bookend tackles are gone. You got problems on the offensive line. Now the defense, they're doing their thing, and they're getting better and better, and they're going to be great when it comes playoff. The offense, we got some work to do. So with that being said, let's listen to the haters this morning, okay? I know the sports world is mad that the Cowboys won, but they're going to get trashed all day. They're going to get trashed. And it's amazing that a 9-4 team is garbage. But let's listen to them.
Let me ask you a question. Just like we drew it up, right? The Cowboys' defense is dominating and is the reason why they're going to win the division and be a threat.
That's absolutely not why we drew it up or how we drew it up. Early on in this season, we thought the offense was going to carry this team. We thought Dak Prescott was going to play at an MVP level, and this is why this team would be a championship contender. But when you think about what Micah Parsons is doing, the things that Dan Quinn has added to this defense, the defense is now becoming the reason why this team could win football games. They were the reason why you score points early on, and they also shut down the Washington football team when they needed to at the end. You have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Micah Parsons. You also had that in Trayvon Diggs. And now that you've got Randy Gregory, right, also DeMarcus Lawrence back healthy, you can rush the passer in so many ways. But bottom line is this. The Dallas Cowboys are judged by championships. It's been a quarter century since they've had an opportunity to win one. This Dak Prescott, the guy playing football now, cannot win a championship. They cannot be a Super Bowl team with number 4 playing at the level he's playing at. So if that doesn't change, we'll be having the same conversation we've had for years about the Cowboys. They'll be sitting home watching the Super Bowl with us.
What's happened here?
Dak Prescott is regressing. He is the reason right now that there's offensive struggles. The two basic ways I can say it is, number one, he looks like he's playing scared football. There's no comfort or trust within the pocket.
No,
but he looks like he's playing scared football. Scared to hold the ball in the pocket, scared to hang in there and make a play, scared to go be creative, and then there's no consistency with the conviction of his eyes and his feet. Sometimes his eyes and feet are together early in the game, then they run the same play and his feet are here and his eyes are there. There's just no consistency with his conviction.
Now, you know what's funny? We talked about, before I ever saw this thing with Dak Prescott, and he talked about high expectations. What did I say in our meeting at 6 a.m.? We get up early for this show. All right, just so you guys know. I said, he's playing like he's got such high expectations, and he's playing tight because of it. This guy's not scared. This guy's not afraid of the devil. I can assure you that. All right, a 4-time captain at Mississippi State. This guy, to me, Dano, in my opinion, he's playing tight. And what he doesn't want to make the big mistake. Well, when you do that, you don't play as aggressive. This kid needs to get back to saying when their defense was garbage, this guy was at his best. Bring that level of play now with that defense you got, and you may want to.
At the beginning of the season, he was playing like a guy who knew exactly who he was.
Yeah.
Like he deserved that money, like he was an MVP candidate, like he was a franchise quarterback. Now he's playing like the guy that replaced Tony Romo.
Right.
I'm not going to hurt the team.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure the run game works and allow my defense to win. That's not who he was early on in the season.
I'll ask you guys this. When was the last game that Dak Prescott played against a good defense and he played well?
New England.
So October 17th.
Yeah.
So we're at 2 months. The last time he played against a good team and played well. There is regression this season.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube for live stream.
Yeah, I can't disagree that there's some regression there from where we were early part of the season. And those are the reasons why I believe that those things are a problem. If it took Michael Gallup 8 weeks or 7 weeks to get over having his calf injury and to get back out on the field, Dak was only out for 1 game and ended up basically playing through it. So we don't know if it's gotten better, if it's still healing, or if it may not heal for the rest of the season. Whatever the case may be, we need to get Dak back on the right track. We just cannot have 2 interceptions, especially a pick 6, against a team that, well, last week they were a great team. This week they're a garbage team. So with that being said, I'm going to go back and I'm so blessed to have so many great people. My man Jet D is about to head out. Shout out to him for the great barbecue and stuff. I've had lots of help getting stuff cleaned up from the front porch. Saw Reverend Smalls this morning picking up his table and stuff, and I've got a lot of stuff to get together. And there's a Bears fan out there. We're going to get started on your Joe Barty today. I'm going to try and get it done and out by Wednesday. So with that being said, you know the work never ends here at Joe Boo Sports. I'm Mark Holmes, and, well, you know how we roll.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is